Hey guys, it's Archon, and if you haven't heard yet, Blizzard just put out this patch 1.0.7 preview detailing all the big changes they're going to be making in 1.0.7, and I'm really excited about it. After reading through it, I think Blizzard's really hitting the nail on the head, and they're finally making some changes that the game has been needing since release, and I'm really excited about it. I think this is going to be the best patch so far, personally, but it's really going to depend on their implementation. But I just want to go through the preview and tell you what they're going to be changing and give you guys my opinion on it. So here it is. I pulled it from Diablo fans. There's a blue post from the forums, of course. And let's go through. There's a lot of stuff on here. They have a little table of contents. Before I go through, they also added this blue post was added shortly after that blue post, and it says NV stacks will persist across acts with 1.0.7, which is pretty cool. You can do Act 3 and then go right into Act 4 and still have 5 stacks, or however you want to do it. So I think that's an awesome change. I've been thinking they should do that for a while. But here we go. Dueling. We all knew dueling was coming out. They decided to redo how they do in PvP. They were going to do all team deathmatch, and they decided that's not good enough, which is kind of what a lot of the players have been saying for a while now. Us on our Twitch channel have been talking about that. They need some like more complex PvP systems, something more like a battleground or like a MOBA type PvP, something maybe that combines PvE and hopefully something that gives you gear by doing it. But because they're starting all over with PvP, they're giving us dueling, and they explained how it's going to work. There's a room you can go to in Act 1, and they said they might expand that to other acts as well. And it just takes you to a new zone, and you can just fight each other. You can do 2v2, you can do 3-person free for all, you can do 4-person free for all, which is pretty cool. It doesn't keep track of score or anything, you just kill each other when you die. You get resurrected again. Hardcore characters can die. It doesn't matter. You come right back to life. You don't take any durability damage. Just a little fun place to mess around, which will be awesome for the live stream. We can have like tournaments and competitions and stuff, so I think that'll be really fun. One idea we were thinking is maybe two people get 5 million gold to spend, they build the best set they can, and then they duel each other. I think that'd be kind of fun. And maybe the winner gets to take the other person's set or something. Takes their pink slip. Okay, next change here. They're making a couple class changes, and I'm happy because one of them is a wizard, and I play a wizard. They're increasing the damage on some skills. Arcane Orb, Blizzard, Shock Pulse. Really makes sense to me that Blizzard's damage should be increased. It doesn't do much damage at all. They're also making it so that Illusionist resets the cooldown at slow time, which makes it so it's probably going to be a good one for PvP, depending on if they nerf damage or not. If they don't nerf damage, you're going to be getting hit for 15% of your life all the time. Illusionist can be awesome, especially if it includes slow time. And Temporal Flux will now reduce movement speed by 60% for 3 seconds. That's double the movement speed decrease and 50% more duration on it, which is awesome because Temporal Flux, again, is going to be really good for PvP, I think, because Magic Missile with Seeker is probably going to be the best primary skill to have on there. And the Monk is getting a big buff to all their Spirit Spenders. They felt like monks were just using their spirit to recast mantras, and so now Spirit Spenders will do more damage, which good for monks. I think they need a little bit of a boost there, and they say other classes are going to get some improvements in the future. Item hunting. Out of all the changes that Blizzard has made to Diablo 3 since the game came out, this is the one that I'm most excited about. So up until now in the game, all the progression is on the auction house. You're farming to get gold so you can buy your upgrades on the auction house. I mean, every once in a while people find an upgrade for themselves while they're farming, but for the most part, all your upgrades are coming from the auction house, and so that's where the real progression is in the game. When you're farming, you're just trying to get money, essentially. You're trying to get gold, but it's interchangeable with money. You can buy gold with money, you can sell gold for money. They go back and forth. They're completely interchangeable. You're really just farming to get money. Most players are making about 10 cents to 25 cents an hour, and then you're using that money or gold to buy stuff on the auction house. And so all the progression comes from the auction house. That means when you're playing the game, you don't really feel like you're improving your character. You feel like you're working so that then you can go on the auction house and improve your character. And it's a complete disconnect from your character and from the progression. It's completely different from Diablo 2, for example, which didn't have an auction house. So when you're playing the game, you're really looking for upgrades for you, maybe for your other characters or your friends, but you're much more connected to your character, and it felt much more like a project you were working on. And I think that's one of the reasons why farming just isn't as enjoyable for a long period of time in Diablo 3. And so we've been saying on the Twitch live stream for months now, there's only two ways to fix that. You either have to get rid of the auction house, like in Diablo 2. Of course, they can't do that because they make too much money from the real money auction house. The other way is to make it so the best items in the game are bound to your account, so that you can't go to the auction house and just buy them, but you actually earn them while you're playing the game. the best items in the game bind to you so that you feel like you're working on your character as you're playing the game. And they're starting to go in that direction with these new crafting recipes. It's only 5 slots: gloves, pants, wrist, chest piece, and amulet. But you're going to be able to craft what I think could potentially be best in slot for those 5 pieces. They haven't said if they will be or not, but basically you'll be able to get recipes from bosses such as Skeleton King, Spider Queen, Magda, Zoltan Cool. They have a 50% chance to drop them if you have 5 stacks of Nephilim Valor, which is awesome because there hasn't really been a reason to kill those bosses in the past. And then you can craft the items using those recipes. You teach them to your blacksmith just like any other recipe. And they require normal crafting mats plus a demonic essence, which is a new item in the game that drops from elite packs. And on Monster Power 0, it has a 20% chance to drop. Every Monster Power after that increases by 15% of the previous chance. So all the way up to MP10, it has about an 81% chance of dropping. So I'm still not sure where it's going to be most effective to farm. Maybe I'll be farming around MP3 or 4. But you use one of those demonic essence and some other mats. They haven't said exactly what mats, and then you can create the items. And you'll probably have to create 100, maybe a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 of them before you get one that's better than anything on the auction house. But I'm really hoping that they make it so you can get something that's better than anything else, that it really can be best in slot. Because if that's the case, then they're going to be moving a lot of that progression to in the game. It's only 5 of the slots, so some of it will still be in the auction house, but I think it's a step in the right direction. A lot of people disagree with me here. I was talking to Inigo Montoya from Twitch last night. He definitely disagrees with me, but I think this is one of the biggest and best changes they've made so far. It's going to put a lot more emphasis on farming. It's going to make farming a lot more rewarding, I think. And so we'll just have to see how it affects the game. Hopefully they are potentially the best in slot, and I hope that they make more changes like this. It seems like they're really starting to realize what's important to improving the game. Oh yeah, moving down. They're making a new gem type, one more level above perfect or radiant star gem. It would be a Marquise. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it will require 3 radiant stars and like 20 million gold and 1 demonic essence. And it's just gonna be 1 step up. So it didn't say exactly how much, but I imagine like a crit hit damage gem would go from 100% to 110%. They say it's just gonna go 1 more. So like the stat gems would go from 58 to 62 is what I imagine they're saying. They also say they're gonna make it so rubies are more worth it. The new tier ruby is a significant bump up that should make it the preferred choice for those who favor attack speed over crit hit chance, which by the way is no one right now. No one is preferring attack speed over crit hit chance because crit hit chance gives you so much more. But they say some skills don't benefit from critical hits, like Sentry and Hydra. Not many people are using those spells right now, but they want to make it so in the future there's more spells like that, so that it doesn't make sense for everyone to go crit hit chance, crit damage, which I think is a good change. But for the time being, everyone's going stacking crit hit chance and crit hit damage, which is the best way to get your damage up. And so I don't think anyone's going to be using these rubies anytime soon, even though everyone's buying them on the auction house thinking that they're going to be really valuable. I really don't think so. I think maybe in the future when they make some more changes, then it won't make sense to stack crit, and then rubies will probably become more valuable at that point. But we'll just have to wait and see. Monster Power changes, they're making 2. One, they're going to allow you to use Monster Power in public games. It's pretty much self-explanatory. They went through a long description, but yeah, you can enable Monster Power in public games. End of story. Experience bonus in Inferno. They realized that the fastest way to Paragon level was just to grind MP0, which is what I've been doing, which a lot of people do. And so they're going to bump up the experience bonus. So instead of 10% per MP, you're getting 25%. And it actually ramps up even faster than that. When you get up to MP10, it's a 510% increase as opposed to 160 before. That's huge. So if you can do the higher MPs, it's probably going to be more efficient for leveling. They want to make it so it's about the same regardless of what MP you're doing, but it looks like the higher MPs are going to be more worth it. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But I think that's a good change because everyone's only doing MP0 to MP3 right now. Need to get some higher MPs in there. A few monster affix changes. Reflex damage, they talked about this a while ago, but they're going to make it so that the reflex damage is like a shield that comes on and then turns off. So if you can't handle reflect damage, just wait for the shield to come off, attack, and then the shield to come back on. And it says it has a really obvious, a really strong visual associated with it, is what they said. So it'll be really obvious when it's on and when it's off. And then Molten and Plague, they realize Molten does too much damage, Plague doesn't do enough damage. So they're lowering the damage of Plague, increasing the damage of Molten. I think both those affix changes are good. Reflect damage is a little too strong, kind of required you to have life steal or something like that. and Molten was too strong, Plague was too weak. So good affix changes in my opinion. And then a few more quality of life changes. They said the incremental res timer, they're getting rid of it. I think that's a fine change. It'll just be 5 seconds every time you die. That's the same time that it is right now when you die the first time. So it just won't go up. You won't get a long res timers, which I think is, like I said, fine. I don't think we really needed the really long res timers to make us not want to die. There's already enough incentive to not die. And then they also say they're increasing the base pickup radius by a small amount. So it's not much, not giving us much more pickup radius, but they want to make it so if you run over a stack of gold, like right over top of a stack of gold, you'll pick it up every time. Where you guys have probably noticed, as I've noticed, if you don't have any pickup radius, you could run over a stack of gold like 5 times and still not pick it up. So they want to change that. That's good. And they say the PTR is coming very soon, which I'm assuming means Tuesday, 2 days from today. We'll find out. If it's not Tuesday, I'm guessing it's a week from Tuesday, but I would be a little surprised if it didn't come out Tuesday. So we'll find out. That'd be cool, which would mean that we'd get patch notes today or tomorrow probably. We'll find out. I'll probably make another video about that. There's also a new blue post posted on Diablo fans today. It's an interview with Wyatt Chang, who's the technical game designer of Diablo 3, and he just did this interview on Reddit, and it's kind of interesting. Gives you a little bit more insight into the patch. He just answers some questions, so you might want to check that out. So that was it. I just wanted to give you my feel on the 1.0.7 preview. Once the PTR comes out, we're going to be dueling like crazy on the live stream. I really want to figure out PvP, what skills are going to be best, what gear is going to be best, so I can make some YouTube videos for you guys. And then once the patch comes live, I'm going to be farming like crazy because I want to get some of these crafted recipes and see how well they can roll. So definitely check out the live stream. There'll be a link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll have another video for you guys soon.